Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're back with a a recap of the ETFs. It's been like 2-3 weeks since we have done it, so a lot of things have happened. I just briefly looked through them, and yes, a lot of stuff has happened ever since. Big trend lines broken to the upside, mostly actually, also some to the downside. Yesterday, I did the daily recap for commodities. Gold and silver and copper looks stunningly beautiful. Twitter recap as well. Go check that one out. Uranium still looks strong, and we have a shipping, and the Baltic Dry Index looks very, very bullish. So if you have the time and the needs, you can check these out. Without any further ado, ETFs. First off is the GDX, one of the most hated sectors, but it's coming to life, just as gold is about to break out. The GDX is coming to life. I want to briefly say this, that I've been sick for a while, so my throat is a bit sore. So that's why I sounded like I've been drinking for 2 days. So with that out of the way, let's see where we are in time. The weekly time frames here. And yeah, basically very bullish. We took out the blue parallel channel right here, inverted head and shoulders right there. Boom. Bullish gold miners. And again, pullback should be bought. If you can get an entry here, if we get there at roughly 30, beautiful, beautiful entry. 30 weekly will be coming up if we start to move up. This could be the start of something big. Again, if gold really breaks out above that 2007 and 75, excuse me. But it seems like the gold miners agree. This is good, really good. Same thing for the GDX, a bit different. However, we did clear this minor red resistance and the 30 weekly, and now we're coming into the big one here, the golden trend line from the 2020 top. You can see it coming down, and we are charging. Fourth time is the charm, just as in gold. Fourth time, maybe a bit of a pushback, and then we will blast through. That is my honest opinion on the juniors. If that happens, it's going to be on. Game on. Again, small sector. It's still hated. People don't believe it. But believe you me, when we break roughly, let's call it 40 on a weekly basis, game on. Same thing for the SILJ, the global silver miners. We have broken that long-term golden trend line. It's roughly 2.5 years long of a trend line. Again, we have some stuff here. We have this channel that we need to get into, but this, in my view, together with breaking the 30 weekly, is the beginning for silver miners as well. Some of them are highly leveraged to the silver price. And even though silver has stayed the same at roughly 25 for like, I don't know how many, 3 years or so, many of the miners has gone down 80% due to higher cost. So the silver miners could be a big one to be in for the next few years. Maybe they move rather quickly and very short-lived, but still, silver, I love it. Same thing again here. We have taken that blue channel out, and we took that horizontal resistance at roughly 9, and we are charging in to take that one out. And yeah, I still think that this also will be a big, big, big move to the upside. For the SILJ, same thing, nothing new. Uranium, I did the recap yesterday. Go check it out, but still nothing new. We're still in a big uptrend. 30 weekly is hammering. It's just blasting it up here. And again, I think we're going to hit the all-time highs within a month or so, together with the gold and silver booming. Same thing for the URNM. We are still in the yellow uptrend here. We had a bit of a technical double. I even posted it here, right there. On this day, I posted it. This is the big double, triple support actually. And boom, the day after we had a 5% day. So very nice to see. Again, when and if we take out the all-time highs for URNM, higher prices for uranium miners. They are extremely lacking the uranium price, but that I think will come to an end now. I think they will do a lot of catching up here as we speak. Same thing, URNJ, same, we don't have that much data, but basically we are in this green uptrend here, and we are just breaking out here and retesting both the yellow and the all-time high at roughly 23, and it's going higher in my view. Just want to keep it as simple as that. Until proven otherwise, then we are in a massive uptrend for uranium miners. There's no doubt about it. Lithium, has been killed here, and no one is talking lithium, you know, from a technical point of view. Even fundamentals is just dead in the water. We had this breakdown here. I thought this was a big move to the upside. I bought it here and got stopped out here, and now we're all the way down here. That's why always use a stop loss. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Get out. Don't be a hero, right? I want to show you the daily. I mean, the highs here at roughly 47 or the support at 47 is still holding, and we have this minor trend line here, and I suspect together with gold and silver now, uranium, that this will pop. Actually, I really do think so. It looks like a bear flag, but I have my suspicion that this is actually one where it counted goes against the bear flag. But again, we have to wait and see, obviously. But definitely an exciting moment in time for lithium, and we are at the 2011 highs here. Big support, and if we get a bounce, I can see we going to at least to that pivot low there at roughly 55, and we are currently at 48. So 15% at least if that happens. One of my favorite sectors is the Brazilian ETF EWC. Why? This is a 15-year long chart in the making, and we are finally breaking out as we speak. There's nothing more bullish than this setup right now. Again, don't expect to gain 300% in like half a year. That's not how you play this. You play this one for a bit of a balance to a portfolio, plus you get roughly 8% dividend while you hold it, and emerging markets will do very well. And this is one that I am invested in for the next 2 to 5 years, depending on how the chart looks at that time. So definitely it's breaking out. There's no way around it. And usually when you see the emerging markets doing well, that's because the dollar is coming down. So NVIDIA, I know it's not an ETF, but still we have had it on this section for so long, so it's still here. I called it here that was the moment that NVIDIA was going to crash. The retest on the daily, as you can see here, I call it here. Oops, this is not good. Retest, and then boom, short covering like a madman. We're now into the all-time highs here, getting rejected a bit. Again, I think we can go as low as the blue line here, and then we'll get a bounce. Will it be the time when we go higher and going for that huge melt up? I don't know, but definitely NVIDIA is a lot stronger than I would have suspected. I still expect this earnings gap right here to get closed at some point in time. But again, until now, NVIDIA is decently strong, but again, there are some weaknesses that could get broken, that's for sure. OIH, the oil services, is at our green double support all the way here. Now, the 5th time we are touching it. Going to the daily, I want to show you, we are in a bit of a dangerous territory. We have this blue flag here, and we are just dipping a bit below here. So we want to break that blue buffer to the upside. If you get below, let's call it 304. Excuse me. That's very bad for the OIH, in my view. But again, we are flagging here, and we are just a tiny bit below, but again, depending on how you draw the lines, we could be above the trend line. So definitely want to watch here over the next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, but definitely. XOP, again, broken out here, retest, dip below, and now we're back above that golden trend line. It looks like it's struggling here, but let's see again until proven otherwise. Again, I have my bigger time frame, inverted head and shoulders right here. So if this is correct, then this will be, you know, hopefully where we get up to here, the neckline for the 4th time, and boom, it's game on for XOP, excuse me. POTX, again, also a hated sector. We're just watching it here. We have our, if it is the bottoming that we're about to do, we have our highs here, in my view, at roughly 9. Breakout, big retest all the way down here. If you look at the daily, there's actually a decent setup here that you could do for a trade, because I think the bottoming will take a lot longer. But you do have this pennant right here roughly, and we're breaking out. And if this is a bigger, I want to show you what we have been talking about. If this is a bigger inverted head and shoulders, you actually have a very good risk reward, and you can trade it from 5.5 to roughly 9. So yeah, that's it. So again, let's see where we are within Q1, Q2 in 2024 if we really get this bottoming pattern. For now, it's just a thought, and we have to see if we get there really. The semiconductors, look where we are in time, breakdown of this green uptrend here. And now basically we're just having a huge retest here. Also, if you make a line from here, we are very close to some resistance right there. So big moment in time for the semiconductors actually. But again, given you can see here the past 4 weeks, big green candles, I suspect we have a lot of momentum and that we will get back in and then actually going for all-time highs. It sounds insane, it really does, but that's how I see it. Tan, this was, to me, a very strong pattern here. However, we grinded it here and I was just waiting for a breakout. It didn't happen. And then we came down and we broke to the downside. The good thing is that we now have our 3 impulse lower lows, which is always a checkbook. And we still have this type of bullflag here in the making. Again, we are holding the March 2020, or just prior the March 2020 highs there. We are still holding it. So we are getting a bounce here, but we need to see some sort of bottoming here. Also long term, I still think there could be some skewed inverted head and shoulders here for the solar. Again, I really thought we were going to break here and then boom, we were going to break the neckline, but we didn't. We clearly did not. Yeah, here we have the XLE, the energy sector, flagging into that long-term green support. Hopefully we hold, and fourth time, if it holds and we break out to the upside, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5 times, and that's when we break. I really do believe so, that will be the breaking point of that high at roughly 93, give or take. Again, if we break down to the downside, we have some support here. You can see it from over there. We have that cluster, and if that doesn't hold, we have a big orange, golden support at roughly 70. You can see why it is drawn in. It's coming from here, so that will be support as well. So definitely XLE. I think if we go to the daily just to see the structure a bit better, it's not the prettiest of the pretty, but again, you have some sort of stuff going on here. And you can clearly see the levels that we're looking at. We want to get above roughly 86 for a move up to here. So 86 on the XLE is a very important level to get through. And I think if we get through 86, we will not break down from that green support right there. XLF, the financial sector is breaking out. That's very weird. I really thought, that, again, everyone was calling for the financial sectors to start crashing, and that's typically when you see the opposite side of it. But look at it here, huge breakout of that squeeze. Again, we could get some retesting, but this is for now, very bullish. Again, if you want to look at the bearish side, again, if we go in for the retest and it doesn't hold, we have a false breakout. But for now, you have to accept that the financial sector is bullish until proven otherwise. Even though we have your bias and all the doom and gloom, it's bullish. Would I be buying here? No, look at the run it have had. So, and clearly insanely overbought on the daily. I suspect that now we're going for some sort of pullback here. How low can we go? This will be the very important level to hold at roughly 33, give or take, for the XLF. Also, real estate selected fund, XLRE. Bullish real estate, really? No pun intended. But there it is. You can see the break, and we haven't made a higher high yet, but that's definitely a start. Getting above the 30 weekly. A lot of momentum here. You can see a lot of big green candles. Only one tiny red candle there, but this again is the start of something bullish. And depending on how high we go, making a higher high, we will get a pullback, and that's when we will get the confirmation of the real estate sector. Weird times. One of the things that I'm very happy to see, together with gold and silver breaking out and the gold miners and the silver miner looking absolutely fantastic, is the XME, the S&P metals and mining ETF. So it's not purely gold. This is a mix of all sort of stuff. And we warned that this was a big a big head and shoulders in the making way over here. And we thought, yes, we're going down to here. Clearly, we didn't touch it. And now we came up bull flagging and we are breaking out. Very important chart for gold and silver miners. Also, I think copper is in there and a lot of other stuff. But commodities, hard metals, beautiful. COPEX, copper again, also with some momentum here again. I'm a bit more bearish still. We're still below our long-term trend line there. Breakdown, retest, resumption. So we're still making lower lows and lower highs, but definitely there are some big green candles here for now that maybe could lead to something bigger. And I think if gold and silver, uranium, and lithium, for example, could start to move, then I think the COPEX will do as well. Also looking at the copper chart, it did a big false breakdown at the apex and is now breaking up on the weekly. I think COPEX will follow. If copper really means it, this one will burn a lot of shorts here very soon, in my honest opinion. The SPX, the SP 500 index, we call it here, this is insanely bad for the SPX. You know, we broke the green support very quickly. We took out that horizontal level at roughly 4,200. We can go to the daily, as always, or very often. You get a breakdown, you get a retest, it snapped back in. All these guys there are short, they have to cover. So this is a big short rally, shorting, they're getting squeezed basically, and a lot of buying also, obviously. But again, the SPX or the SP 500 is looking like we're breaking out right here. If this hold, we are going to test the all-time high. Again, we will get some pushback there at roughly 4,800. Again, also note that we have a pretty decent symmetry here. And when you see that, in my experience, that's often a double top. But again, let's see where we go. I have seen people also make a cup and handle here. If that's the case, then we're going way higher. And that will be a major melt up before we come crashing down sometimes in 2024, maybe 2025. But definitely, most of the charts looks really, really good. I'm surprised on a personal level again, but the charts will never lie. The Nasdaq, we had this uptrend there. We broke down and we made a bull flag here. We're breaking out. In my view, we're going to visit the all-time highs at roughly 16.6, I guess, 16.6K roughly. And then we will see what happens. But definitely the Nasdaq also looks very, very good. You can look at this well-defined channel here ever since 2007. So yeah, if we have a big blow off, I don't know, maybe we do. It just sounds insane to say, really. Then we could visit the upper trend line there at roughly 24,000. That's insane to say, but it really is. So a 50% move from here in the Nasdaq before we come puking all the way down. But still, more or less every single chart of the ETFs here looks very, very good. POTX, maybe not so much, but still, if everything starts to rally, of course, POTX will join the party for a big frenzy, right? So yeah. That's all I have for you guys. It's been 3 weeks, but man, how much can change in 3 weeks when you haven't looked at it? Maybe it was only 2 weeks. I don't remember, but still a lot of green. It is what it is. I'm surprised. But yeah, that's how we learn, basically. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the stay here. Again, sorry for my voice. I will get ready to record with Borak. He will be joining me in half an hour. And we will be going through uranium, oil, gold and silver, obviously. What else do we have? Nat gas, platinum, palladium. And I'm excited. I'm very thrilled to have him on and be having a first row view on what his thoughts are for the markets. That's it. Have a great one, guys. Cheers.